Seconds early. Fishy. Hey, Dawn. Oh, I gotta shut my sound off on my computer. There we go. Mr. Bish. Mr. Bishy, I didn't get to check out my keyboard, but thank you. I hear I received it. Butterfly come in and a little shortly after my show last night, and she had me retrieve something from her car, and her car is jam packed full of stuff, and it's in there somewhere. But I'm gonna try to find it today and try to get it working tonight while I'm sitting around and see if I can make it work. Me too. I hope any help I can get. Is anybody here looking for cassettes, or did the notification just wake you up? Mr. Bishy, you're a Verizon seller? Is that it? He's not Verizon. Oh, AT&T. Oh, sorry. I thought for some reason I had Verizon in my head. Well, nobody jumped into the chat and said they were here for cassettes. I've got stuff in to buy now in the auction tabs that are you can either buy or request if you're looking for something. And I keep adding more. And I'm going to sort cassettes this morning. Did the show notes say that? I don't think I put the show notes in. Nobody's here for cassettes anyway. I was gonna say if you were a Verizon guy, I was gonna ask if you got credit if we made changes to our plan with you, but I guess can't do that if you're not with Verizon. Oh, there's some show notes for people to read that they won't read. I think they fixed some of the issues. Oh, shut up. I think they fixed some of the issues with the admin. It changed if you're a seller on here. It changed yesterday during the day, and there were things that were different again this morning. So, like eBay, apparently, Whatnot is rolling out a whole bunch of changes right in time for the holidays, for the busiest time of the year. That always annoyed me with eBay. They'd wait to make changes when you're super busy and when you're getting all sorts of orders, and it would confuse all the customers and the sellers. I will be scheduling a show later tonight, probably 7 or 8 o'clock normal people time. My legs aren't that sexy, Mr. Bishy. Butterfly has low standards. I think she's had some pretty unsexy legs in her lives in the past. And there's no twerking. Alrighty, I'm just going to start sorting some cassettes, and I'll run them like I have been. Throw them up there and run them and sort them. And you guys should be sleeping. It's Saturday. Didn't I just say I was gonna review a preview? Oh, you gotta work on Saturdays. That sucks. I feel your pain. Um, yeah, I'll do a preview tonight of whatever I'm gonna do tomorrow for my antique type show. Dawn's ready to hit the road. My cats don't get me up. They, I think they just snuggle in bed all day if you let them. I think, yeah, Dawn said it was an inside yard, so I think it's probably too cold where Dawn's at too. How much snow did you get? Snow, Dawn? Looks like we got several inches out there. Yeah, I went upstairs. She come home and I shut everything off and wrapped things up and went up. And we have like an apartment above the building, and he was cuddling with her, and I sat down to take my boots off, and he jumped down and come over and rubbed up against me, and he pretended he wasn't into her for a while, but then he was back up on her. Girl Scouts. Are they going to have cookies available? I'm going to run these and sort while I'm yapping. If somebody's here for cassettes, feel free to bid on them if you so desire. Girl Scout donuts. Oh, today's Saturday. I forgot last Saturday. um, the Amish lady always made donuts. I wonder if she's still making them. I haven't had her Amish donuts in almost 3 years. Maybe I'll have to run over. Bruce Springsteen, Tunnel of Love, Deborah Allen, Bellamy Brothers, and the Judds. She makes huge Boston cream donuts. Take her some cassettes. They're they're a pretty progressive Amish family. um, you probably heard me talk about them before. They're the ones that they had like 5 girls before they had any boys, and the husband was getting very cranky about it because in the Amish community, all the boys go to work when they turn 14 and give all the money to the dad until they turn like 21. And if you don't have any boys, you don't have any workers. You can only eat so many donuts and pies. I don't know if they have mirrors. False. Oh, just cars. Butterflies is ice cream. She could eat ice cream and just I don't and just not stop and just eat it all day long. Joshua Bell plays Neville Mariner, and Home in the Heart of the Beat Rodeo. I don't know what that is. But the Amish guy that his wife makes the donuts, he's a pretty young Amish guy. He's probably in his, let's say, probably in his early 30s. Um, he's got a huge house, and he built his house, and he's had the house for, I don't know, 10 or 15 years, and it's a big, big house. Well, he decided he was going to build a bigger house and use that house as his shop. So he's got these two giant houses. He got a big barn. It's a whole, looks like he has a community for just his family. And he's pretty progressive. He's not real excited about the Amish ways. He likes his cell phone, TV, and stuff. Boston cream are my favorite. I didn't try any root beer. I didn't. The only thing I unloaded from the car was her bag of pills, I think. Ohio says that she loves her cream-filled Long Johns, and it sounds so sexual that's what, according to IO Nurse, that Whatnot censored it. So John Cougar Melling. Oh, there's an Aerosmith. Is she? There's an Aerosmith. Save it out for you. That's the one with the trucks doing the nasty on the cover. So out of Chicago. I don't think I like rhubarb. But it may have been one of those things that I just have never tried and said I didn't like it as a kid and decided I was never going to try it because it looked gross. And I just think I don't like it. I think Butterfly likes it. Oh, Bishy in Ohio South sometimes. Who else is in here? Dawn, and that's it. Look what I saw on my Google News feed this morning. Sell in minutes, not years. Tired of listing items on slow marketplaces? Sell faster with Whatnot live sales. And then had this big long ad that you scrolled down through, all about selling. Oh, and I saved this. They had some of these sellers here. I was going to check them out with little testimonials. And I thought it was interesting. Seller fees are as follows: 8% commission on sold price of an item when it sells, 2.9 plus 30 cents payment processing fee for the entire transaction. Talk about false marketing there. They're saying 8% commission for the item, but then they don't say 2.9% plus 30 cents per item like they did in the commission. They say for the entire transaction, which leads you to believe that you're only paying 30 cents and 2.9% on someone's order when you ship it, instead of paying that every time you sell something for $1. I'm gonna look into them. If you want to check them out, if you're really bored. Brick Love, The Lip Lady, Katie Co, and I think there was another one I must not have screen grabbed. Oh, they don't want my testimonial. I'm surprised they don't kick me off for all the bitching I do. I think all my bitching, though, is justified. like I've ranted many times, when I started doing this, it was one of the big reasons was because it was supposed to be for professional sellers. And I know not everybody's a professional seller, and I have nothing against them. And I watch more non professional sellers shows than I do professional sellers, but they are marketing to people just all they're trying to just get more sellers. I have never seen an ad for shopping on whatnot, like trying to get actual buyers to come in and buy the stuff. Hey, Heather, this is where I get up early in the morning and I rant about how much I love whatnot. Oh, the heating guy is supposed to come Tuesday or Wednesday. So hopefully I can have some heat by then and can stop using these stupid little space heaters that you have to listen to in the background. Yeah, and I appreciate it, Ohio. I did not get it all out. I started shipping this morning, and I'll continue shipping. Some cobwebs there on that one. After this is over, probably do a banana box full this morning. So Roger Whittaker, Katie Lang, some kind of country compilation, and Ohio, or the Oak Ridge Boys. Could I image? Could I imagine? What? I don't know what you're saying. I will make sure I do yours next. I know I didn't do yours. I should have done yours and Dawn's and Bishy's and anybody that I thought might be in here. Did you hang around at that Jeremy's sale after I rated out? He has some pretty nice stuff. And I followed him. A lot of time I don't follow hardly anybody on here. But I could get into him. He had a nice voice. Less whiny than me. Okay, London Symphony Orchestra, Tears for Fears, John Denver, and La Bamba soundtrack. No, Ohio. That I do just the opposite. I start with the least money, which it's not too bad for ephemera shows because they're real easy to package. But I usually start with the ones that only buy one thing first. I don't know why. I should do the hard ones first. I can't remember what his name was now. Was it Jeremy's Find or something? Crystal Gale, Gary Morris, Let's Active, and Michael Johnson. He must be a relatively new seller, but he had some really good stuff. I don't know if it's something he just stumbled into or whether he's really into that. But I really couldn't watch it too much because Butterfly came back shortly after I rated out. and she wanted to chat and not be on whatnot. Hey, Reg. But then she had to get on Temu, and her coupons were expiring at midnight, and so she had to do that, and I went to bed. That's right. It was. I was getting concerned there for a while. I don't know what she bought. I went to bed. Oh, she'll probably tell me today. Oak Ridge Boys, some sort of orchestra, Reba McEntire and Sting. Bishy does a lot of math. She just keeps going like the Energizer Bunny. Oh, yeah? Did you, now it's complete silence, and I gotta turn on some music now that my space heater has stopped. What do we want to listen to this morning? Before you. I have no idea how old they are now. Because the thing is, like, cassettes were around when I was, like, a kid and a teenager. So everybody is always the same age to me. Because I never did too much with CDs. And I don't listen to the Oak Ridge Boys. It's like the benefits of being an adult. You could choose your own music and didn't have to listen to my mom's country anymore. The third one is the picture. I don't know any of their names. I could bump into them at Sheets and I wouldn't know they were in the Oak Ridge Boys. Kenny G. I had some Kenny G the other day. Ricky Skaggs, Duran Duran, whatever soundtrack, Henry V soundtrack, Taylor Dane. Oh, you're telling me what music you want me to listen to? I'm like, okay, okay. I get easily distracted and have a very short-term memory. Kenny G Radio. What volume do you play Kenny G on? 14. All right, there's Kenny G on 14. I have a special room with all my Kenny G albums and a lounge chair and a little side table where I relax. That's right. Single malt. I can't play nothing. Dolly Parton. Quiet Riot. Steve Perry and City of Angels soundtrack. I think that was a good movie. I vaguely remember it. Boy, I would think that AI is going to be tough on artists like this that just have instrumental stuff. Not sure why anyone would. I don't know. Maybe audiophiles can tell the difference, but all that AI generated stuff, you make whatever kind of music you want. You just tell them what genre you want to listen to and what speed, and they'll make it for you. Bangle, Lionel Richie, George Michael, and Roger Whittaker. Uh, I could not listen to this all day. I mean, I could, but I would fall asleep. It's very relaxing. That's why I listen to that screaming stuff that Butterfly's always bitching about. Because that way I don't fall asleep at my computer. The inbreed Whitakers? uh, I was just stating a reality, Dawn. I try to stay out of that argument. Yes, please do send me the YouTube link about the inbreed people. Dawn, do you ever watch Free Speech TV? Fairfax County Schools, and the other stuff is Country Compilation and Orchestra. You should check it out sometime, Dawn. It's freespeech.tv. It's got an app, or it's on like DirecTV Dish, and that they have it. But that one guy on there, Tom Hartman. I don't know if you know who he is, but he used to be on Air America when they had that. His wife writes songs for AI, and they played them during the breaks of his shows, and they get some callers that are pretty hot calling in about that, pissed off that he's doing that and not using regular artists' music. Well, the problem with NPR is, at least on our NPR station, at 9 in the morning, it turns into classical music until noon. And I'm not much into classical music. For the same reason I'm not into Kenny G, because it makes me fall asleep. Not that I don't like it, it's just... But yeah, his wife writes these kind of like protest songs and stuff, and has AI generate the whole, like, the lyric or the music and the vocals, and you can't tell that it's not real people singing it. I can't, anyway. Yeah, I don't dislike it, but it's the only time I listen to it is if I'm somewhere and I have NPR on at 9 o'clock. That's an original slide box there. Nobody cares. Plus, it's Gilbert and Sullivan, but those are pretty scarce. Kathy Mattea, she's on NPR all the time. On the folk show. Lisa Stewart. and Rod Stewart. Lisa Stewart country. those are just get the hell out of bed alarms. They start at 5, and I think they run through about 9 o'clock. Depending on what I'm doing, there's times I'm up till like 2 in the morning or something, and it's like sometimes I don't want to get up at 5. She won't get out of bed. She'll be in bed half the day today. Kenny Rogers, London Symphony, Righteous Brothers, and there's the Carpenters. Yeah, she likes the Carpenters. I don't know Trombone Shorty either. What when you said you went to see somebody in Philly? Was that the Philadelphia Orchestra, the big one that you went to see? Oh, the Philly Pops. I had some Philadelphia Orchestra tapes the other day, and I wondered if that was what it was. Lisa Stansfield, Michael Bolton, some sort of Gershwin, and Paul Simon. Yeah, when Butterfly gets back from being down there, she takes a few days and half hibernates. She doesn't sleep real well down there. He was when you taught. He was your teacher in high school. Uh, he probably likes doing that a lot better than teaching high school kids. Bonnie Raitt, the Judds, country classics, and Mendelssohn. Of course, you were one of those teachers that liked the kids, weren't you, Don? Hey, Marvin, are you here for some cassette tapes? Good morning, Texas Auto. Are you here for cassette tapes? All right. Well, if you've never been here before, the show notes tell you everything, but I'm just flipping through Vernon Choice. I don't know what I've got. I'll have shows where they're sorted at some point. So Madonna, some sort of classical compilation, Earl Thomas Conley, and another classical one. Ooh. Just gonna start crafting. Anybody do any shows where they do the crafting and then they burn it at the end? I got some mixed reviews saying I was going to burn all the paper from that didn't sell on Thanksgiving at that ephemera show. Tea Time Music, Paul Whiteman, Elton John, Turned Down Kenny G. I was going by the 14 that you said. I was trying not to talk real loud. I've seen some of the clips, and this, I don't know. The iPad seems to have a better mic. Some of them were very loud. Oh, look at that. Yanni with cobwebs. Cypress Sampler. Not Cypress Hill, apparently. Barry Manilow and X-Clan. Sorry, Bishy. I told you when I go there, I think of you, which I guess is an odd thing to think about, but I do. I just every box I throw. I've got like a, what is it, 14 or 16, probably a 16-foot box truck, and I took so many loads, load after load, and every box they threw off, I thought Bishy would be unhappy. 16 feet. Enigma. Amy or Anne Murray. Country, Willie Nelson, Chris Christopherson, Dolly Parton, and there's Les Mis, I think, one. Doesn't say. Do you guys have bald eagles out there in Ohio? Has it been just in the fairly recent years, 10, give or take, that you've started seeing a lot of them? When I was a little kid, where I'm at in Pennsylvania, you very rarely saw one. If you saw one a year, it would be something. Now you see quite a few, but you go to the dump and they've got a ton of them there. It's like, well, they're not like crows, they're not that many, or seagulls, but you can see multiple ones just sitting around eating crap. Oh man, there went the focusing. So yes, big generator, Richard Marx, some sort of classical, and Neil Diamond. He works at the dump. Does he like work in the dump, or is he like a office worker? Okay, I had this discussion uh, with Butterfly, and I probably have this discussion every time we go there, or I go there. She doesn't go with me. Um, how do they ever get the smell off of themselves? And if so, how? Lori Morgan, I assume your brother smells great because he's a welder. But, I mean, those guys that work on the mountain, they have to smell like that. America, performed by Savannah. T. Graham Brown, Joan Baez, and Lori Morgan. No, your brother. I assume the bald eagles can't get the smell off of them either. Hey, Chip and Sissy and whoever else just come in. He showers there. Does it work though? I really? What does he use? Like what kind of soap? The clothes are gross. When I was younger, I lived on a farm, and if I did something bad, I had to go to my uncle's and uh, next door and milk cows before school. And there was no way, no matter what, I didn't go to school smelling like cow shit and cow food and silage and just a barn. And I know the other farm kids that I knew in school, like they all bathed and they all smelled, and all the Amish smell, and well, they don't bathe as often. But I mean, I go to the dump. I don't interact with the dump beyond beyond walking out of my truck and throwing all this stuff into the pile, and I I can smell it on myself. If I go in the morning, I can smell it on myself before I take a shower at night. If it's raining, it doesn't. It kind of seems to keep the smell down. Dial soap. And if you've never been to a dump, uh, you should take a field trip sometime. Yeah, I that was a thing, Dawn. I never. That wasn't something I knew was an option. Some sort of high school from Fairfax, Stanley Clark and George Duke, some sort of classical and Dances with Wolves soundtrack. Yeah, the I've got an Amish school right across the street here, and they go until they're 14. But about the time they're about 12, they start leaving school early during the day and going home early to help on the farm. Before that, they stay there and go about a normal school day for what the normal English kids go. Oh, don't get me started on that, Dawn. I'll rant good on that. Butterfly's granddaughter goes to school. They call it school, but it's actually preschool. And she's 3 years old, and she's very smart because her mom is a teacher down by Pittsburgh. And she's been going to, quote, school for her entire life. And like they call it school. And she's very smart. And all the other kids around our area that don't go to school or daycare, they're not as bright. And I think that it creates a very wide rift between intellects of the local or the rural and urban kids. I think they ought to have the option available to everybody. Butterfly, what are you doing? Are you really up? She's probably freezing. So, the Nutcracker, Vienna Band Camp, Maggie Sands, all sorts of interesting things. Okay. So I gotta walk across the room and get another box because that box was only half full. And I know everybody wants more cassettes. Eugene Ormandy. I don't know which one that was. I must have been the one I. What was he, a composer or a conductor? I can't remember. Hey, Shigia or Shigaya or whatever. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, that's right. Luther Vandross. And there's Boston Pop's one. And I will be back in just a minute. I'm going to go grab another box. Feel free to hang out or feel free to take off. I'm back shortly. sorts of different versions of Les Mis today. And Guitaro's Silk Road. Hey, Flipper Girls. Or Flipper Girl. You're not here for Cassette, are you? You're Flipper's Girl. Not Flipper Girl. Or Flipper Girls. Hey, all you iPad people, is there a way to add GIFs or GIFs to messages? Not on here, I mean anywhere. I gave up after about 2 minutes of trying. I'm sure there's a way somehow. Oh, hi. Do you have a show this morning? Masters of Reggae, Patsy Cline. I wonder what that is. It's just a compilation. You're lazy. Wham. Everybody will be going through with Ohio withdrawal. You have adoring fans that kind of guiltily hope for your ill health so you will go live more. Blurry cassette tapes. So Linda Ronstadt and a bunch of classical stuff. Hey, the Goose. Are you here for cassettes? One of these days, I'm going to ask somebody that, and they're going to be like, yes, I collect them. I got like 20,000 of them. And they're going to go crazy and buy a bunch. Just waiting for it. John Philip Sousa, a favorite. I'll add that to your pile, whether you like it or not. If you don't have a cassette player, you'll have to go find one. You don't have a cassette player. Oh my. So, REO Speedwagon Boston, Truckers Jukebox Volume 4, and New Kids on the Block. Fishy, what are you doing? You want the truckers one, don't you? Where did you send it, Ohio? Thank you, Fishy. I don't know how long that is. Maybe I'll check that out tonight. Is that like a full length documentary? In Vogue, uh, some sort of Bach harpsichord concerto. Are they from Ohio? Trace Atkins and Big Band Swing, West Virginia. I don't know. In my experience, you drive about 15 miles out of like Pittsburgh or Cleveland or Columbus or the cities, and it's kind of West Virginia, Ohio, and Pennsylvania are all kind of the same with just different degrees of slope in the hills or lack thereof in parts of Ohio. I think it's funny when they like go hunt in like people from Pennsylvania go to Ohio to hunt, and then people from West Virginia come up here to hunt. It's like they're freaking deer. The same deer everywhere. The fabulous Johnny Cash. That's a Martin Page single. Rolling Stones, Tattoo You, and the Steve Miller Band. There's one person I knew one time. They uh, they decided they were going to have as much of their deer turned into deer jerky as possible. They got the ground up gun, and then the whatever you call the thin sliced stuff. Uh, on all the sliced stuff, it was so hard you could not chew it, and they paid somebody to do it. So they had a whole deer's worth of basically inedible deer jerky, and they kept trying to pawn it off on everybody. Oh, I've got my genre piles mixed up here. Soak it. I like when I can find the what's the brand with Bigfoot? The Bigfoot in the ads. They have those sometimes at the Amish Bent and Dent stores. And sometimes the Amish people don't realize how expensive that stuff is. And you can get like a big bag of it for 75 cents. Phil Vassar, Kenny Chesney, and more classical stuff. Hey Carter, are you interested in cassettes? Or are you just laying in bed like everybody else and flipping through whatnot? Here's a Philadelphia with Ormandy. Cassette or something. Bobby Vinton, Jim Croce, and the Traveling Wilburys. Where is it? Yeah, it kind of looks like a messed up Jim Croce. Oh, lots of classical crap. And the thing is, in the years of selling cassette tapes online, the classical stuff actually did about as well or better than a lot of the other stuff. Because they made a heck of a lot less of it. the middle the middle guy in that picture looks like about 10 different people that I know. Did you buy something, or did you just hang out long enough to get a crown? Oh, well, thank you for your purchase, the Goose. I will be adding more cassettes. I've been adding some to the store every day, and I'll just keep adding more for the next few months, and eventually I'll have a ton in there. Blackhawk, Starship, Kenny G, and the Carpenters' Christmas music. Good morning, Grange 45. Are you looking for cassettes? Yeah, I didn't realize the Carpenters were brothers and sisters for a long time. I didn't realize the Kendalls were dad and daughter for a long time either. Never really listened to the Kendalls, but just listing their albums over the years, I always thought, kind of weird that old guy was dating that really young chick. But I guess it was his daughter. And they just looked really happy together in photos on their album covers. Queen live at Wembley, Van Halen, Iron Butterfly, and Benny Goodman Pure Gold. Woohoo! Thank you, Goose. Which one would you like? Takes the Queen. Do you want any of the other ones? Are you interested in any of the other ones? If you are, tip me $2 and pick one or both of them, and I'll throw it in with that one. Okay. You're a slow typer like me. It drives me crazy. People ask me shit in shows, and I sit there and I try to type a short sentence, and like 3.5 minutes later, I'll reply. Last night I was when I stopped in at Bath Bomb Ladies Derby show, and I was working and I hear her say something about Josh across the room. And I run back and ask her if she was talking to me, and she repeated herself. And it was just like asking me if I was there and stuff. 45 seconds later, when I'm still trying to respond. And I'm not getting any oh, you bought something, but or Bishy, I'll just toss it in with your the one you bought, if I remember. Lots of classical in this box. They got real nice cases though. All the rock have crap cases. Papa Wemba, don't know who that is. Polish dancing music. What's it? Just probably like polka. Our local radio station still has polkas every Sunday morning. So you got Foreigner, Grateful Dead, American Beauty, and the case or the liner notes aren't too bad. The case is pretty rough. Mozart, Greatest Hits, Kenny Rogers, She Rides Wild Horses. Yeah, the town where that radio station is, they've got a sizable Polish population, and they've got one of those big Polish clubs. And they've had that polka party on that station my entire life. They still do it. I think it's Sunday morning. Saturday or Sunday. I think it's Sunday. "1959, Time Life Still Rockin'," Toby Keith. I've never went to any of the stuff that they have. It's 20 miles away or so. But they've got a community center. Kenny Rogers and Patsy Cline there too. They got a community center, and they have one of those clubs that's a bar. Are you into that type of music, Dawn? Oh my. You're not. Because I was gonna hook you up. I thought if you said yeah, I was they're right in the box below my face that I saw this in there. And I thought, I hope she's into that. I'll find a cassette player and mail it along with them. They probably don't listen to cassettes either. Glenn Miller, Frank Sinatra. That's a Sealed Keys album. Gospel. Oh dear God, there's more of it. Could be yours, Dawn. Look how many. I assume those are all Polish. Certainly not English. And there's a Boston Pops and Chicago Symphony one. So we got the Little Drummer Boy, Sealed Jackson 5, Skywriter, Rock and Roll Alternative, Atlanta Rhythm Section. And that guy, what's his name? Ryu? I don't know how to pronounce his name. Akenar and Killing It. Those are running. "20 Christmas Classics." That's a Vienna People's Orchestra. Sealed Sony Blank. More polka looking stuff. And Ride of the Valkyries, Philadelphia Orchestra. I did have a banana box full of pencils. I don't know if I still have those. That was a bad investment. I bought a huge amount of advertising pencils that were unused. I don't know if I ever sold any of them. Cossacks is Russian, so it's not polka. So don't put it in with the polka stuff. Roger Whittaker, Fiedler and Friends, and more classical. Rolling Toot Suite. Oh, Bowling Toot Suite. More classical. Alrighty, guys, I'm about ready to call it a day because what little I have left in the box appears to me to be all classical, and I know you're not going to buy any classical. So there's no real reason for me to put it up there. Um, I have no idea. That's kind of an odd one. Caution, music from another planet. I might say what it is in the liner notes. Caution is Mark meets Joe Torchberry, Lincoln Dave Force. Looks like it's some sort of group from Buffalo, New York. Never heard of them. Looks like it's a self-produced one. And there's some classical, some marches, and Ram Paul, the romantic flute. So those are running. And so I'm going to call it a day. I will be back. I'm going to raid out if you want to, if somebody wants to choose somebody that they want me to raid to. I'll schedule a show later on and come back and do a short preview of tomorrow's auction sometime tonight, 7, 8 o'clock. I don't know, sometime this evening. And yeah, it won't be much selling. It'll just be kind of me rambling and showing this stuff in detail. Ohio said she's lazy, so she's not on. There's probably nobody selling cassettes. No. Nobody sells this early in the morning. None of my followed hosts are selling. Here, we'll raid 2 for 1 just to see what they got. This looks like storage unit stuff. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out. Thanks for the purchases for you guys about stuff. Let's go see what this person's doing. Have a good day, guys. Have a good weekend.